So
Can you guys hear me
if
okay?
you're smart, you just don't do any of that. Yeah, but you sound very Canadian though, so that's unfortunate.
Not Canadian enough because I'm from far north of the border. Hey, Andrew, do you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
This old Joe guy, um, always talking about Andrew on Flow State's channel. He claims to give Flow State behind the scenes. Oh, we'll wait behind the scenes. He claims to give Flow State a really good argument that absolutely will destroy Andrew. I'm like, yeah, okay, good luck with that. On Christianity, he's like, oh, but I'll let you know behind the scenes. I'll let you know behind the scenes, Flow State. I really think you would do well. I really think you would destroy him, Flow State. Because there's no argument against Christianity. So he's either deluded or, a lot of agnostics and atheists are very deluded.
Okay, here's my last question, and then I'll drop down.
Mhm.
I think if it was me, like, so I myself am agnostic, but I have seen people sell all sorts of stuff, right? And if God was a big part of what I did, and I was good at putting a message forward that was supportive of God, and
It kind of reminds me of that impression that Jim Carrey used to do of a Native American. I can't remember what it's called.
brought other people into the faith that I supported, would it not be acceptable to just say, yes, I do this, and yes, I make money at it?
Yeah, sure, that would be acceptable.
To say that Christianity is part of who you are as an entertainer.
Okay, I don't understand why everyone's so obsessed with this. He happens to be a Christian, and he has a show. Why is that what people narrow in on? Literally, every single time I've been on his stream and people try to ask Christian apologetics questions, he tells them to shut up. He won't answer them most of the time. He's like, I'm not a Christian apologist. Go find a Christian apologist to answer these questions. He tries to just talk about the entertainment. Yet his haters, all his haters, this is what they narrow in on, the Christianity aspect. It's like they're desperate to, they're just desperate to call him some sort of religious grifter. And it's funny because actually Speakeasy did a poll probably a week ago, asked people whoever supported Andrew, why they support him. Literally every single person answered because he's entertaining, because he's interesting, because he's funny, because he's smart, because I learned from him, because I learned how to debate from him. He's entertaining, not because he's a Christian. I mean, but that's what they narrow in on.
But it's a big.
Well, now you're making the leap. So
Sure.
I knew I knew where you were going with it, right? But now you just made a second leap, right?
Sure,
Hang on, stop for a second. So assertion one is, would it be okay for you to say it? Yeah, sure, it's okay for you to say that. But then the kind of assertive jump is, well, then why don't you? Well, because that's not my mission. That's why. That's not my ultimate mission. My ultimate mission is political in nature. Not to be an apologist, of which there are many who are better and more skilled than me. And so I will leave the apologetics to them.
I just said
what Christianity suffers from? It suffers from a lack of people who can be politically engaging and win.
That's true.
What happens when these apologists get on the other end of political debates is they get fucking crushed. They get smashed to bits, smashed to pieces. Because they focus all of their energy in the sector of being convincing when it comes to theological debates around only very tight niche philosophical positions that most people can't even follow. When you put them in the normative arena of politics, they get fucking smashed to bits. They get beat. Their head gets beaten in with a rock, dude. And it's sad to watch. And high level guys, they can't take on any normative policy or political positions at all and win. And which thing do you think it's through to more people in these sectors engaging with society how it stands now in a way which is political, or having niche philosophical theology debates? You tell me which I should burden my time with.
I wonder if these people who don't engage, like you say, either are too weak.
No, they can't. No, I didn't say they don't. They can't. They get beat.
It seems like some of them are more interested in protecting their personal reputations than speaking the truth. That's my opinion.
Yeah, well, I don't think so. I mean, I think that there's plenty of guys who are crucified for having the wrong theological position too. What I'm saying to you is that theology, and specifically the branch of philosophy, theology, is very complex, and it starts with metaethics. Metaethics and starting principles are super complex. These are complex forms of long form logical arguments. And it takes years of devotion to become highly skilled in those specific little niches. And so, what apologists do is they focus all of their time on learning thousands of years of history, tying the thousands of years of history into a theological, philosophically grounded position for or against God. That's what they do. Now, I say against God because they're Christian apologists could be fighting with a Muslim, and they both believe there's a God. Maybe they have the same first principle starting points. They both believe that there's a God, there's an almighty creator, right? And they have many kind of universal similarities. But it's exactly knowing the distinctions between these two gods and the history in each one of these sectors of their church history that makes you highly skilled in that niche philosophical, theological debate sphere.
So
And those guys are great. Those guys are great. But the same thing applies to politics. Politics is doing the same thing, right? Now you're moving into the political sphere of philosophy. The political sphere of philosophy takes every bit as much dedication as the theological sphere does.
Well,
And so it's like, yeah, go ahead.
I'll have to take your word on the theology piece because I'm quite ignorant. But if we keep it in the debate sphere, would you say there's something about your debate style that would make you effective whether you were debating theology or instant coffee, like I'm going to take on Kat soon about because she insists my instant coffee is no good? I just but no, would there be something about your style that would make you effective in any arena?
Yeah, it could be very effective in straight apologetics, yes. But that doesn't mean it would actually convince more people of the truth of God or of the truth of the religion which I follow. That doesn't mean that it would, just because I was effective. The truth is that apologists can't seem to get out of apologetic circles. They stay inside kind of the same circle jerk because they don't focus on politics, because politics is super difficult. Okay. And there's nobody on the right who really engages in political philosophy from a Christian starting point. They're missing this massive audience, which is there for them to capture.
I just don't have strong opinions when it comes to. I mean, I'm conservative, but I don't have like super strong opinions as a conservative. If that makes sense.
And so Muslims are doing that, and Christians are not.
What advice would you give those folks then?
I wouldn't give them any advice at all. I would tell them to continue on the practice of being great theological Christian apologists. I think that's what they should be doing. And I think that they're called to do that. And I think they're good at it. And I think there's a huge need for it. I just think that there's also a need for the other end of the coin, which is the political aspect. And that's widely ignored. And so why do you think that my critics endlessly demand that I only do apologetics? Why do you think they demand that?
Yeah, I don't know that they did, but if they do, I couldn't answer that question.
Well, because they would want to keep you in a box.
All right, because they want to keep me away from the political sphere. If you were a Christian, you wouldn't be.
Yeah, because that's what they narrow in on. They find out he's a Christian, and that's how they identify him now. You know why? Because it's much easier to criticize. It's much easier to call him a grifter if you just say he's a Christian that's trying to get money based on being a Christian. They're liars. They're dishonest scum.
If you were a real Christian, you wouldn't be engaging with these OnlyFans hoes and these red pillars and these fucking politicians. And
it's the easiest way to try to call him a hypocrite and try to call him, whatever. They're just dishonest trash, guys. They're trash. It's all they got is lies.
Oh, that's all worldly. Why would you engage in any of that? The whole point is that it's a massive shaming tactic in order to get me to remove myself from the political sphere and stay solely in the realm of hypothetical theological.
Yeah, I myself don't agree with the removing from the sphere approach. I don't think that's productive.
Well, you show me anybody else who's as effective as I am in the political sphere on the right, I'd like to know.
Hey,
The
Andrew.
funny thing is, you even get Christians saying that, you know, he should be in the he shouldn't be debating with.
He should be a better Christian and not. Whoa! Why do I have so
Shouldn't
much
be
echo?
debating with those 18-year-olds. You just dunk on 18-year-olds,
So exactly. You're going to get criticism from everywhere. It's just the way it is.
Andrew.
Yeah, well, all of it is designed to get you to remove yourself from the political sphere.
So here's one
And
thing
that's
I'll
it.
leave. Here's one thing I'll leave you with, because I'm going to jump down and you know, you can take this for what it's worth. But Joe Rogan said once he got to a certain size, he simply had to start ignoring comments. He said he couldn't stay in that anymore, and he gave that advice to Jordan Peterson as well. It seems as though once you get past a certain point, if you spend too much time thinking about what everybody thinks, it for those guys it became pretty stressful. That's what they said, anyways. But hey,
I can't stand people who give me unsolicited advice. He's basically giving advice now. It's like he's this teacher to Andrew, and I'm gonna teach you something today. And it's so condescending. I'll leave you with this because I'm your teacher. I'm the teacher of everyone.
thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
we've been past that for for a while. But the thing is you know what I think? I have a counter to this. And my counter is that I think that if you are a person who is bothered by that and it makes you lose sleep and it makes, you know, you allow people to kind of get in your head, that's exactly what you should do. But the truth is that most of these guys would like nothing more than to reach out to one of these haters and bring them on and tar and fucking feather them publicly. They would love nothing more than to do that. They just don't. The difference is that I do. And I think it's endless amounts of fun. It's endless amounts of fun for me to do because like it never even had to happen in the first place, but you demanded it, you know. So here, take the medicine that you demanded and choke on it, right? So
Hey, thanks a lot, Andrew, for your time, and Grid One, thanks for having me up.
No worries, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, there you go. There's Old Joe versus Andrew Wilson. See you later.